Then, so Waaki had just been circumcised and is washing himself off in the river, which back in chapter 6, Nyambura was thinking about how people wash themselves in the river after circumcision. And so here we see that all his life, Waaki had waited for this day, for this very opportunity to reveal his courage like a man. This had been the secret ambition of his youth. Yet, now that the time had come, he felt afraid. He did not, however, show it. He just stared into space, fear giving him courage. So, this shows that he's displaying strength in the face of fear. And he values circumcision greatly. He sees it as the secret ambition of his youth. So he's scared. And the rest of the first part is just about him describing his pain, the pain of circumcision. And he was thinking, oh, what if Livingstone was here? Livingstone was his teacher in Syriana Mission School. So he's a Christian too. And he was like, oh, what if he's here? What would he think of this? Because the Christians are against circumcision. So the elders are talking and they ask if all the circumcised children are well. And it's like, yes, all but one. Bum bum bum. So Muthoni is kind of struggling because her wound is getting bigger and worse. And they guess maybe it's a father's curse. These Christians, they will never come to any good. So it shows the tribe's views of the Christians. So Waaki goes and visits Muthoni. And Muthoni reveals that no one would come because her father would not allow her family to come. Okay, so eventually Waaki tells Nyambura and she visits Muthoni. And Nyambura's like, why did you do it? And Muthoni says, I want to be a woman. But Nyambura still keeps asking, oh Muthoni, why? Why did you? Muthoni's condition got worse and Waaki finally says she should go to the hospital. And Muthoni's aunt, who she was living with, refused this because it was the Syriana Mission Hospital, and you know how they feel about these Christians. And one day things had gotten so bad that Muthoni's mom finally came to see her, and that was the same day that they took her to the hospital, finally. But it's probably too late. Muthoni is dead. She had died from her injuries. Jerry, which was Muthoni's aunt, would no doubt be blamed for the death of Muthoni. Waaki could see her face, which had become all at once wrinkled when she heard the sad news. It had become unbearable, that simple act of hiding her face in her hands and standing still without tears. Nyambura and her mother wept without speaking, without a sigh even, only tears flowed down continuously. They had come to await the return of Waaki and the 10 young men who had taken Muthoni to Syriana. Waaki was unable to look at Nyambura or her mother. He had just told the news and then, after a while, stumbled out of the house. This is our tragic scene. This is Jerry, Miramu, and Nyambura. And that's Waaki. He just stumbled out and Muthoni's dead. So in case you were wondering, Muthoni's last words were, Waaki, she turned to him, tell Nyambura I see Jesus, and I am a woman, beautiful in the tribe. She had died clinging to that image, to that obsession, which had led her from Makuyu to Kamino. Who knew what it was? The only question which people had was, why did she do it? Why? And even for Waaki, the question remained, why, Yaki? I'm so sorry. Why? Joshua had heard the death of Muthoni without a sign of emotion in his face. A slight tremor in the voice when he spoke was the only thing that betrayed him. Meanwhile, the elders were discussing the death of Muthoni and how it was not good for the future of the tribe. But in Syriana, they were thinking, circumcision is barbarous. Because Muthoni's death just proved their point that it was not a good thing. They needed to root out circumcision. The war was now on.